And one thing is the communication has to be very, very clear. You have to respond ahead of time. In fact, if there is a query, if there is a problem with the property, or anything has to be professionally addressed. And the third thing is you have to give uncompromised service, support, and you have to be having a 100% ethical approach to the business. You cannot say one thing today and say different thing tomorrow. It has to be very, very clear.
Hey everyone, welcome to one more episode of Getting Real with Real Tycoon. So our goal with this show is to bring entrepreneurs who can help you build your mindset. So on this particular episode, our guest is someone whom I met, someone in the very initial stages of entering real estate, and later on who helped me in various activities in like advising and how to get forward in real estate and various things. So he started this particular brand called Connect Realty in 2011 and turned out to be a really successful property management company and later on. So it's Mr. Unni Mohan. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much to be on the show. So starting off, like how you started off Connect Reality. So just give me the backdrop of the origin story, which I really love.
Vamsi, good to see you first time. Really excited to see you, and I've been following you closely, and you've been doing a great job also. And coming back to your question, how we started. See, basically, we are from a sales background. I started my career in Asian Paints, and I worked with Usha, and I was the regional head of Fuji Films before coming into real estate.
Okay.
So the transition happened somewhere in 2011 when my brother, who was into the interior business, left the business and wanted to diversify, and that's how real estate came into our minds.
Okay.
So
you
I
didn't
also
have
thought
any prior experience before this particular thing in real estate?
nothing at all. It was zero. 2011 is when we got this idea, and basically I got the knowledge of real estate because we had bought some properties. So we knew what exactly a transaction was, basic details, not the overall thing. From a layman's point of view, what is required in buying a property and what is required in selling a property, because we had also sold 2-3 properties. So that is the kind of experience with which we started.
Okay.
In fact, our first transaction was our own property.
Okay.
So it was fun all the way through, and there's a lot of learning, trial and error, and depression periods and everything. So in 2011 we started, and as I told you, our first property was sold, our own property, and after that, close to 4-5 months, it was a lull. But that gave us a lot of insight into what exactly reality is, about, and how people's emotions are governed as far as real estate is concerned. Because in India, it's mostly emotionally governed real estate. They're all sentimental in holding on to the properties, unlike in the outside India, where there is there are no sentiments attached to properties. So that was how we started, and the journey was slow initially because the market was also not very conducive in 2011-12 when we started.
Okay.
But however, that gave us a lot of time in learning.
So you started off with the sales part, right? Yeah. So how did the property management come into the picture?
See, actually, property management came in pretty slow. See, what happens is we were in facilitating real estate, residential real estate transactions for over 4-5 years, say until about 2015.
Okay.
And then we thought, because it was not a very organized business. Real estate is, a very highly unorganized business in India. Because you can never really quantify this. This year you will be doing so much. Next year, you really cannot plan what can happen. Suddenly something will happen, then it takes a lull. So we thought we should get into something that is more organized, where growth will be, substantial. It will increase year on year, and there is a lot of activity around. So and it is more organized. So property management is when that idea we got, and 2015 we started property management, understanding property management, how it works and all that. It took us close to 6 months of only understanding, studying what property management
Was there
is
anyone
about.
who helped you in understanding the market, or it was again through the personal experiences?
It was more of our friends' personal experiences, because many of my classmates and college mates, they are in the US and UK, abroad and all that. They have properties here but nobody to manage.
Okay.
So we thought it was a good, like that there'll be at least,
Yeah.
as far as I know, there are at least 20,000 plus properties of NRIs in Chennai which are vacant. So even if I am able to get, say, 1% of that, it's 200 properties, and that translates into a huge,
Okay.
business and service. So that's how we were very seriously looking at property
So
management.
coming up to property management, like how does the property management differ from the usual perspective of many people? See, like they will be having, you'll be understanding, right? So people will be having certain kind of perspective on property management, like how is it different from the perspective that generally people look at?
See, property management is all about trust. First thing is, they should be comfortable with you. Initially, it was very difficult for us to grow. In the sense, the one number becoming two and the two becoming five. The first 5 clients or 10 clients I'm talking about was a Herculean task. It took us a lot of time. Because initially you can only go to your friends, your relatives, and they are the people who will trust you.
See, in initial stage, the property management, the term itself I have first heard from only you. Only later on I came to know, like there's something like property management, it's a huge thing, huge thing.
See, there are actually a lot of players, but nobody is organized. And especially when you're dealing with NRIs, there are a lot of things you have to take into consideration. One thing is the communication has to be very, very clear. You have to respond ahead of time. In fact, if there is a query, if there is a problem with the property, or if, anything has to be professionally addressed. And the third thing is you have to give uncompromised service, support, and you have to be having a 100% ethical approach to the business. You cannot say one thing today and say different thing tomorrow. It has to be very, very clear. And once an NRI trusts you, he will definitely recommend your services to 10, 15 other people. And that is how, see, if we have grown over the last 2 years, it is purely on our referral business.
Okay.
1 to 5 was difficult, as I told you. 5 to 10 was fairly easy. Then the jump was exponential, because whomever came in as our clients, they were absolutely thrilled about our services.
Okay.
So they are our spokesman. We don't have, they are the best advertising billboard for us.
Okay. So.
One happy client, we bring a crowd.
So coming to technology part, so there's kind of, see, if at all you take technology, it's heating up a whole industry, like a lot of industries, it's heating up. So, like, was there any kind of changes that you had to make because of the introduction of new technologies, new software? So, was there any, like, how did technology revolutionize the property management business?
See, initially, even the property management itself is a fairly new concept in India.
Okay.
So, see, initially, people didn't know what property management was. Even real estate was, something new. Broking was something new 15, 20 years earlier. When you say that I'm going to sell your house and, I'm going to make money, people look at you. Otherwise, they will think that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So real estate itself took so much of time to, for people to understand what a broker is, what's the role of a broker.
So Hanu Reddy were the pioneers, right? Hanu Reddy in the south.
Hanu Reddy, yes, definitely they were the pioneers as far as they started when these questions were asked.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the success actually. They have grown over the years. And so coming back to this property management, it was difficult for us initially. But then NRIs who are there, they know about what property management and how property management.
So is it a pretty usual concept in US, or
everywhere around the world, it is a big business.
Okay.
In fact, real estate takes a second this thing. It's mostly property management there, and then that complementing real estate.
Okay.
Here it's the other way around. It's like 99.99% real estate and 0.01%, 1% property management.
Okay.
But of course, things are picking up, and people are beginning to trust, property managers, and we have come in as a very professional company to serve whatever is, required of a property manager in Chennai. Though we are initially started here, and maybe we are looking at branching out in Bangalore and in Cochin as the next phase.
So how tough was the transition? So you were into complete real estate, and from complete real estate you transitioned into a complete property management company. What about that particular conversion? Was it kind of tough for
It was actually very tough. See, when you are into real estate broking, especially over a 5-year period, you have so many things at hand, and suddenly it is difficult to jump streams and get into a different tangent, altogether. So the phasing definitely took time. One thing is we had to phase out of real estate slowly. You cannot do that, and then starting afresh into property management, which was no man's this thing for us. We wasted a lot of time, but then it was worth the effort and the risk we had taken.
So what was the kind of mindset that you had to you had to take in? Like, what was the kind of self-talk you had with yourself? Because see, when we are having something really good in our hand, and we know like it will not, it will not be for all time we will not be having that particular fruit, but there is something really attractive, which was not explored by anyone. So it's a different kind of mindset to leave this one and go there, right? So did you feel at any point of time like, are we doing the wrong thing or anything of that type?
Right from the beginning, when we thought about this question, people were saying so much that even I myself lost my conviction on because I was 100% convinced about what I'm doing. But the thing is, the more and more you discuss with people, the more and more ideas they give you, their own ideas, and you tend to take a back seat on whether this will really take off and things like that. First thing is 100% conviction on what you're going to do. That's the most important thing. I had 100% conviction that yes, in India property management will do well, because I had done a survey about the NRIs and what the properties are available, and all that I knew what we were heading to. So I thought, okay, fine, even if you're going to lose revenue over a period of time, it's okay. And even if you're going to lose revenue by starting a PMS company and doing service for them, it's okay. But at least in that process we learn, we become more refined, and we are able to do very good job in probably the second or third year down the line. And I'm definitely I'm fully convinced that I've made it, and I see a very, very bright future.
Like how long did you take to see okay things are working and everything of this?
It took me at least 6 months, as I told you. It took me 6 months to really understand the business, because there's so many things. There are thousands of questions thrown at you which you would not have imagined. And if you say I will revert back to you, then you're lost. So it was very difficult. And every business starts like that. Nobody comes with a franchisee model like ready-made thing. It was our own thing, and we had over a period of the last 2 years, we have really refined ourselves, and I can confidently handle any property management situation today. And not alone me, my entire team. We are confident of handling any exigencies, any questions thrown at us. And we have been, our business has increased, and in leaps and bounds, and growth has been exponential. So and more importantly, we are now a growing organized company. We know, okay, now this is going to be this one. Next year is going to be like this. After this is going to be like this. This is what. So we are very clear we are on the path of this thing.
So again, on this particular path, whatever you have taken. So marketing is everything. So referral business, referral is there. That's always kind of keeps growing like anyway. So again, while coming to acquiring the new clients again. So online, like internet is something that has taken out in the last 4 to 5 years, especially in India. especially in India, like last 4 to 5 years, it's been a boom of internet, right? So, did internet change anything? Like from 2011 to 2018, right now? Like how did internet change your business? Like, was there any?
See, actually, we started actively using the digital medium only during the last 3 years or 3.5 years. That's when we created a website. We had a website, but it was for the sake of having a website. We had it. But in property management business, when we had serious thoughts about it, we started the website. That's the base of any this thing, and then we are trying to work on it digitally to reach it to our clients. Digital medium helps reach target audience around the world, and it is possible. And it really helped us because we are getting a lot of leads from Google and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that. And we have created a website that is sort of easy to open, with response fast and easy to understand. So we have a YouTube video, animated video that once clicked by the client explains everything about what we do in 140 seconds. I think that's possibly the best form of marketing. It's like you are giving a lecture for 5, 6 hours. It's straight, comes to the point, and clearly tells the client about us, what we do, what our services, and everything is.
So coming to the business that was happening before 2014, the kind of purebred real estate part. So was there any involvement of internet or technology during that point of time?
See, actually, technology was there. People were using technology, but I have my doubts if somebody is going to say that it is because of technology our company made it big. Because that kind of a thing is that, because even the so-called big companies, 2, 3 companies which are based in Chennai, purely have grown based on the number of realtors they have, and the kind of networking they have done amongst themselves. Digital technology is used to connect, that's it. To find out where the property is, or to find out other details. But anything after that becomes a one-to-one. It's emotional selling here. So I don't think the revenues have really jumped, or revenues driven by using digital medium. Maybe yes, from here 2015, 16, because in property management that's the in thing, digital. So that's taking us places, and I'm sure even in real estate the future is going to be digital.
So in coming up to property management, exactly, like, what are the major operational issues that you generally face day in and day out? Operational problems.
Operational problem, meaning, see, first thing is, we have to address issues, because especially when you're handling a big volume, there are too many things that you need to do on a daily basis, like reaching out, addressing any electrical issue or a plumbing issue or any other maintenance issues, collecting on defaulters payments. All this is a big task. So that's what keeps you occupied invariably. I mean, and my phones, they're all NRIs, so they call between 9 to 6. So I work throughout the night. So does my team. And also, you cannot say that my office works from 9 to 6 and then we don't take calls after that. It's not possible. At least here, when you're outside India, you can afford to say anything, but in India, people expect you to take calls, even if they are, it's so it is like that. It's tough, but it's exciting. When people call you and trust you with the property, what more can you expect for them than giving them the best?
So let's get on to the other part. So who comes to your mind whenever you think of the word successful?
See, there are so many successful people. Suddenly, if you ask me this question, my mind is going blank. Like I don't know about successful, but I see you. I mean, the way you have transitioned over the last couple of years, from day one, how you had asked me questions, and now the kind of refined questions you're asking me is it shows that yes, you're on the right track. And I see Realty Tycoon, going places.
Thank you so much for that.
So you're also my role model in a way. I definitely take a lot of encouragement from you,
Okay.
because that's what even I closely observed your YouTube videos.
Okay.
Then that when your friends say, no, Vamsi, this guy is, he calls me at 12 o'clock in the night and says, come on, do this. At 2 o'clock in the morning, he wakes me and says, you get ideas like that. So that's good, no?
Yeah. That's
So when I also don't get to sleep at that time. So I also follow Vamsi. And this guy is not sleeping. Okay, so good. Good.
Thank you so much.
All
for that.
successful people are like that. So
because you kind of the day which you go through is really hectic. You need to take up the calls of the clients. You need to go to properties, and at the same time you need to balance your family life and like whole things happen. So how do you systemize this particular thing? Do you put any systems in place? Like how do you manage all these things?
see, actually, we have our systems in place. Meaning, right from getting a call to what happens step by step after that, till the contract is signed, and subsequently after that, what happens. We have systems for everything. Our people know what to do. It's very professionally organized, and to put these systems in place is what took us a lot of time.
Okay.
We can operate like any other company, just come or say whatever comes by you take, and it's not that. We were very serious about putting systems in place so that we know what we are doing and the client knows what's happening on the property.
Yeah.
We are still working on it. In fact, we are trying to refine the systems, because our numbers have gone up exponentially. So we can't have obsolete technology. So we are looking at upgrading our software into a more sophisticated thing where the client can directly log in, look at the details, and everything is online. He can just log in with his ID and check out what is happening on his property, what is the kind of money that has gone into his property over the last, what is the rental income that has come, what are the expense on various heads. It will give an idea on what is his ROI and what is the status of his property. All this is very important. The fingertips, he's got everything and is very happy. So we are trying to bring in all those systems. It is definitely taking time, but however, we hope that in the next 3-4 months, all those things should be in place, because we are getting tailor-made systems to suit us. It's not that we are buying it off the shelf. So we've been working on this for the last 4-5 months, and we are still working, because a lot of questions coming in from the clients. So we are trying to add, subtract, and we want the best package. So even if it's going to take time, that's what we are planning to do. And as regards my balanced life you're talking about, I definitely take rest when it is possible. I'm an avid cycler. I cycle on an average 15-20 kilometers a day.
Oh, okay. Fine. I think you can join whenever you go for the cycling.
Yeah, please call me. I will definitely be there.
Okay.
5 minutes ahead, I will be there. I love cycling.
Okay.
And I don't take too much of stress. It's not really worth it.
Yes. So handling the stress part. So I do know that you read a lot. So coming to stress handling part. So how did it differ? So from the 2011 when you're starting out, or while 2015 while you're transitioning. So how did you handle stress at that point of time?
Real estate is actually very stressful and depressing.
Yeah.
In India, because the very word broker itself is looked down on, unlike outside India, where the brokerage is paid before the deal. Here, the brokerage is given after the deal, and what they give is what you have to collect. It is like that. And most of the cases, I don't even know if they're able to collect brokerage. So that is where it stands. It's a very pathetic situation, but hopefully it should improve. So there has been a lot of stress, a lot of deals falling through. So many practical difficulties are there in thing, and people not paying us what was agreed upon. And suddenly there is a huge lull. That's what really scares you. Somebody in real estate, suddenly you go around working hard and nothing happens. And within 24 hours, that you have some 4 exciting things happen. So it's got a huge thing of up and down real estate. One day you are depressed, and the next day you'll feel like a millionaire. And suddenly the third day you'll feel like, oh shit, nothing happened. It happens in every real estate guy's thing. Only then it means that's when he's telling the truth. If he says that, wow, I'm doing great in real estate, it means that there's something wrong with you. So that's the thing, and there's too much of depression that sets in. So
how
that's
do
how
you handle it? So do you think, like, is there anything that we can do to handle such kind of depression or anything of that sort?
Nothing. There are a lot of things people do. People go to the Marina Beach and watch the sea. Some people eat a lot. Some people drink a lot.
Okay.
Some people like me cycle.
Okay.
It's like that. So long as nothing eats your health, it's okay.
So coming to one more, belief system. So is there any certain kind of belief that you have that people call it insane? Yeah, what is it?
In fact, when I started real estate itself, you know how it is in 2000, nothing.
Yeah.
They thought, if you want to do real estate, why go to college and school and waste
Yeah.
Generally, that's how it is now.
Yeah.
Here, it's that kind of place.
But coming to the sales part or whatever we call it, so what I understood was, at the end of the day, real estate people, like, they are the ones who actually move the industry. At the end of the day, you do know that.
Yeah.
So they are the kind of engine that put the Indian economy a bit, keep pushing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they are the ones who are always undermined.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, coming to the final question. So before going to the final question, so just let us know, like, where can people reach you out, or not reality? Where can
People can reach me out straight on www.connectrealty.com.
Okay.
It's a K instead of a C, so it's not C. So www.connectrealty.com. So that's, and it has everything, all the details on the services we offer. As I told you, it's a small YouTube animated video that explains everything, and there is our contact form and everything that's there, readily available, and we are always there to help.
So coming to the final question, so what are you obsessed about?
I am obsessed about taking my company to the next level. So that's what I see. I want to start these 3 branches within the next 2 years.
Okay.
Very, very successfully. First thing is I want to establish this. So I'm having plans of doing this software upgradation and all that within the next 3-4 months, and then taking it forward, because we have very, very serious people in Bangalore and Coimbatore and Cochin. So I want to be putting up, there's too much of pressure actually, because most of our clients, they have properties in Bangalore. There's a huge market.
So do you think is there like any huge competition in Bangalore? Like, what's the kind of market, according to you, in Bangalore?
See, actually, property management comes at a fee. Property management, we take properties only from clients who are understanding. There is no point. See, I want only the rent, but I will not pay, and I will not paint the house. I will not. He has to understand from the tenant side also that he is going to come and live there. So that's number one. So we look at, we get a lot of calls, but we are very choosy about even taking. That's very important. If you don't have understanding, then you can never really work with anybody. Ultimately, he has to be a good tenant and a good landlord also. So That is of utmost importance.
So according to, so is there any ideal kind of landlord? Ideal landlord.
Ideal landlord is somebody who understands, like, what he can deliver, and understand the pulse of a tenant also as a human being. See, when he is going to go as a tenant, what will the basic things he expect?
Yeah.
He would want the house owner to do. And the house owner, it's the same thing, vice versa for the tenant and the house owner. Simple terms, that is the thing. Ultimately, they have to be good people, understanding and helping each other. And we are there to service both of them. As a property manager, it's my utmost thing to keep the property in good shape, attend to exigencies immediately within 24 hours, and ensure that the tenant who's coming in are well qualified, good people who come
So you do
come
all
in
the background
decently.
checks, all
We
that,
do
yeah.
we do a thorough background check. In fact, we do a police verification also.
Okay.
Most people might not like it, but the landlords appreciate it because it is safety for them, and also it is safety for us as a company.
Okay.
We do not want, because tenants can come in any form.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we don't know what their background is. So, in the best thing, we try to do our best, because we have certain checks to, do that background, whatever is the thing. But even sometimes that can fail. So, that is very, very important. See, getting a right tenant is, other one bad tenant is enough to give you hell. So, even if there needs to be a compromise on certain things, so long as the tenant is good, that's what matters. Not a bad tenant giving high rent.
Yeah, that's really like seriously good of that any company has given, yeah.
That will make or break up any property management thing.
So thank you so much for
Thank
being
you,
on the
Vamsi.
show.
Thanks. It's a pleasure talking to you. And I don't know, somehow when I'm with you now, I feel very happy.
Yeah, thank you
I
so
always
much.
considered you like my younger brother right from day one.
Yeah.
So because see the reason, see the day one I didn't know, see for anyone audience who didn't know that, so like in the initial stage when I came to Chennai, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know the city also. I didn't know anything about this particular Chennai real estate market. So I don't know, so somehow, but I just texted him randomly on Facebook and I told him, sir, I want to get into real estate. Can we have a meeting and will you help me? That was the kind of message I just threw him out and threw at him, and he immediately, see, generally people what people will be saying is like most of the real estate people at least. No, it is not possible. So why do you want to meet me first of all? But you, instead of, I mean, you didn't say anything. You just come and meet me. I'll tell you like whatever is required. It was so you have been like really encouraging, and only because of that one I think I came to this extent. I can tell you.
Yeah. As I told you, I'm following you very closely, and I pray God that some good things happen to you and your team.
Thanks so much. So anyone who is looking at property management and want to learn more about property management, you can just contact him. We'll just put the details down there. You can just go through it. Thank you.